Hello people, it's Flames, and yes, I create. But this video is basically how to draw speed and or speed lines. Boom. Okay, let's talk about speed lines. Speed lines. Speed lines is supposed to convey the direction something's going, or the speed something's going. And sometimes even the force at something's going in terms of power. Okay, I'm going to draw a few balls, or maybe basketballs. We're going to see the direction they're going based off the speed line. I want one going to the right, so we're going to do speed lines in the opposite direction. One going to left, opposite direction. One going down, opposite direction, they're facing up, or one going up, opposite direction. This is where it kind of can get tricky, kind of confusing. Now, let's say the ball's coming to us. You want the lines coming to us. So sometimes you want it facing like this, or it can curve off the ball like this. If you want the ball to seem like it's coming to us, we're going to follow the same rules as these. The lines have to get pushed like they're going towards the back. And right here, it looks like the wind is coming off the ball and blowing towards the back. A ball going away from us, you're kind of going to want lines going like this, and it's wide towards the end and it's more focusing coming up front. But even this can get a little confusing. Let's use my webtoon for example. You see the lines are brushing off of us. It kind of infers that she's coming to us. And now the lines are going inwards, so that means we as the audience is going inwards. Boulder, for instance, which way you can tell this boulder is facing is since the lines are going off the boulder, it's like the wind's brushing off of it, and the more lines there are, it shows you which point at what angle it's coming in from. It's coming from this way. We can't particularly tell where this ball's actually coming. We know it's coming towards us, but how in exact specifics. So what you want to do, I'm just going to draw like a random shape. So how do we tell where this ball's coming? You want the lines to basically narrow in on one subject, because let's say someone's right here. He's in front of us. He's right here. So you want it to make it seem like someone threw the rockets and it's coming towards him. So you want the lines to be focused on a point of interest. And the point of interest would be this center point right here. I drew this red circle so we can have like a template for where we're going to place our lines. You don't need this at all, but so you want the lines to roll off of the object just like the bowler we just saw. And yeah, the wind's going to most likely, even the opposite direction is going to come. The lines are going to be shorter more closer towards him. So now we want even smaller lines on this other ring. So now now we know which direction it's coming from. It's coming from this way because the wind's wrapping around it this way, and it's wrapping around it. You can get a little more stylish with the lines, but that's up to you. Now we know which way it's coming. Now let's go on to speed and how fast something's going. Let's draw a couple triangles right here. More lines, in a sense, means more speed. So let's just draw like 3. Okay, this thing's moving. Okay. Now let's draw like more lines. Now you can see this thing's moving. And yes, more lines can equal more speed, and it also can show you where it came from. And the coverage of speed lines means something too, because when you just do a couple like right here, it looks like just the top flew up, or the top flew up this way. It looks like just the top. But when you have like something like this and you do multiple, it looks like the whole object itself moved over. Let's do a speed test and see which one looks faster. Let's just do this. Now let's do this. Now let's do this. Which one looks like it's moving faster? Definitely this one, because we have more speed lines. Now let's work with motion blur. Okay, this one's a pretty fun one. It's pretty cool. It's when something's moving so fast, you kind of see an after image of where it once was. Let me use the end of a sword, for example. Oh, this marker is not good. Now let me just draw the lines real quick of what it could look like, something like this. Now motion blur would look like it's the speed lines is coming off of it almost as like it's part of the sword. Now this wouldn't really be motion blur because you can see there's no blur between, it's a very clear distinct line right here, and you can see where the sword is in place. But right here it looks like the speed would normally be the color of the sword. Look something like this rather than just this would just be looking like this. Let's try it again. Let's do it with a ball or something. So to resimplify, motion blur is usually when the figure is blurred out by the speed of the motion. Now another way to show speed is after images. And after images usually are lighter or 50% opacity compared to the bolder hard lines of where the object is now placed, where after image is supposed to show where the object previously was. It shows you how quick he snapped from one position to the next. Example of an after image. See his sword, he's grabbing it and it snaps down. Shows you how quick he had to make this movement to block the Yeti's attack. Now let's add like another after image in the middle to separate them both. See, now since it's getting closer to the original or the now placed spot, you want it a little bit darker than the first position, but still lighter than the original position that it was in. The less after images, the quicker the movement, where it goes one to the other. Now it looks like it went from here to here to here, so it's not as quick, it's more like he just splashed. Here's another after image where he was just started and where he now is. Now, one final way you could tell, a technique you can use to tell another form of speed is dust particles. We have these two figures right here. Now, dust particles will see how much force and pressure was used and how fast he's about to be going. So this right here looks like he's going pretty fast. Or you can have like, he's just zooming and then it's like a bigger explosion of dust particles. It means how much force was exuberated, or whatever that word means, which basically can boil down to how fast he is going. Let's say I got an energy ball and how many particles is flying off of it. This color sucks. Now, one final and brilliant way to display speed that I just thought of is warping. And now warping is usually when something's going from, let's just draw like a ball again, because that's always easy. A lot of animation uses this a lot. Well, animation uses pretty much all this stuff, but you can really tell how fast is something going when it stretches in speed. Let's just use a basketball for an example. We'll see how fast it's going just based off the warping alone. Because usually basketballs won't really warp in real life. When you're passing it around, it doesn't really change. But when something's going super fast, super fast, it exaggerates it. And we're going to make it look like someone passed the ball to a teammate. And now it's the ball is going to be a little warped. And usually the direction of the warping would obviously make it look like it's going flatter. And now we have now it looks like this thing's flying. I almost left out distance, where the ball once last. We're gonna use this color for it because I didn't use this one yet. So you want to see where this is coming from? You want it's coming from way down here. So you're gonna do lines going all the way from it where it almost originally started, or at least you can see the trajectory of where the ball is going. This man throwing a football, we're gonna be like this. You don't have to do too many lines, you just need like 3 or something. Now you can see where the ball came from originally. You don't need that many lines, but it helps you to see, since if your picture is busy, you might need more lines so you can get a better depiction of the direction of where a slash went. Quickly go over how to draw speed, or different ways, just quickly. So we got distance. This is just speed lines that influence or suggest where the ball came from and where it's traveling to. That's distance. And then we have speed. More lines you add, the more faster something appears to be looking, and the separation among the lines determines how much of the object is being moved. And now we have motion blur, which is basically blurring the motion of the original object. Then we have after image, so it's just an image that's created previous of where the object once was. So we have the sword, and we can tell where the sword was as well. And now we have object warping, which is the one we just did, where it's basically an object warps to show you how fast it's going. And the more exaggerated it is, the more faster it appears. We can do another quick basketball. I mean, no basketball should be flying like this, but a lot of cartoons will use this type of stuff. More so than anime, I'd say. But, yeah, we got that. Now this thing's flying right now. Even the lines will... Now it looks like this thing is zooming. I would not want to get past this ball. But in order for object warping to have a full effect, the viewer has to see the ball's original size and shape. It doesn't have to be right when it leaves. It could be them holding it, like just them before it even takes off. So you can see the inference. Because when you see something like this, or let's say someone does like a regular energy blast like this, you're not really going to know how fast it really is when you're exaggerating. Because what if it was this shape entirety? Someone's just going to think it's a frisbee or something like that. But oh, it's just a red frisbee. But if you've seen like how it was shaped beforehand, square is super exaggerated. And then it goes to this, then you're like, wow, that thing must be moving fast. So yeah, that is how you draw speed, or ways to draw speed and or speed lines. And let me know if this video helped you. It's more so for beginners, and it's a different perspective to look at it from my perspective, of course. So yeah, let me know if this video helped you and what you think about it, or let me know anything else I can help you with in the comments below.